Memobi bi akwaba eba Melodies TV so. The special prosecutor Eddie notice aba say wa charge a year encrophobia for corruption over a year seized rice containers. What you say? Encrophobia omo ekoko seize a year amo atiase amo containers. Na a story ben. For people who don't know the story, let us go back to 2022 because that year it happened in 2022. Na me pese me mamu brief of the story. Na yebo brief no area na yaba story no so ni yaba ba behe. Now, this was what Sami Jemfi back then alleged. Say na encrophobia womo wo Bawumia office. Omo akwa korea emo 10,000 bags of rice. Na sa 10,000 bags of rice no. Omo de koye a year Ramadan donations because Bawumia eye kremoni. Inti asemba ye no na Bawumia twe ne ho afiri ho se wonim ho hwe. Ena nkrofo ka se ade a mo de koye Ramadan donation Bawumia wo tre se wonim ho hwe. Inti sa asem no. Baby a free no. And so let's read that whole story and then we'll come and read special prosecutor and then their worker near head their Ghana for so eka. Now, I say the National Communication Officer of the National Democratic Congress, Sami Jemfi, has alleged that the office of the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, stole 10,000 bags of imported rice, which it used for Ramadan donations. In a tweet shared on Tuesday, February 14, 2023, Sami Jemfi said that documents from the Office of the Special Prosecutor show that Bawumia's office used fabricated documents to steal the imported rice consignment from a businessman. And to send your money and it's a businessman. And you see here, me say NPP NPP Ghana. Sa about one ye tutia NPP no. They be every day so we are no be ayenda nyamia se say yes ade no. Because businessman be wono akwa kopeni sika de akra emo aba no. Encrophobia na omo Bawumia office. Ekoko forge documents. Baba be je emo ne free Bawumia nsem me say Bawumia businessman nsem. De koye Bawumia adwuma ama no. Because that time no na NPP for obi enim say President Akufo-Addo ekwa Bawumia na eba. Also, according to the special prosecutor, the office of the Vice President, Bawumia, used fictitious documents to steal a businessman's imported consignment of 10,000 bags of rice for Ramadan donations. Ya Ilahi, part of the tweet read. The tweet had pictures of a purported charge sheet filed by the OSP at the Criminal Division of the High Court in Accra against 4 people. One of the accused persons, James Kek Osei, is accused of corruption-related offenses regarding the importation of rice. Until Sami Jemfi continued to write, say, James Kek Osei, 49 years, in Accra, in the Greater Accra region, and within the jurisdiction of this court, being a suspect under investigation in respect of corruption and corruption-related offenses regarding the importation from Thailand and auction processes of 250 metric tons of lily rice, without lawful excuse, failed within 30 days to comply with a notice to declare your property and income served on you by the special prosecutor, circa December 2022, under Regulation 21, per Forms 11A and 11B of the first schedule of the Office of Special Prosecutor Operations Regulations 2018 LI 2374, as specified in Form 12 of the first schedule of the Office of the Special Prosecutor Operations Regulations 2018 LI 2374, part of the document read. It can be recalled that OSP arrested and charged 4 public servants for failing to declare their sources of income. In a series of tweets shared on Friday, February 10, 2023, the OSP said that the public servants charged include James Kek Osei, an administrator at the Office of the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Issa Seidu, a staff of the National Insurance Commission, John Aban and Peter Archibald, who are both senior officers with the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority. 4 persons, 3 public servants, and 1 civil servant have been arrested and charged by OSP for failing to comply and declare sources of income in contravention of Regulation 20 of LI 2374. Mr. Seidu works with National Insurance Commission. James works with Office of the Vice President as an administrator, and John and Peter are senior officers with the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, parts of the tweet read. Now, clearly, yabon krofodin. Ngrofo na yabon mudin yesi omo ye 4. Yesi baako one Bawumia na ye adwuma. Unim nentia at the end of the day, ngrofo be yesi no mo bo Bawumia din wa asem we ho. Because ni bako na yesi one Bawumia na ye adwuma no. Die si ye ene say after allegations we by a special prosecutor eba betre in some way ni so no. Yes, the truth of the whole thing is ebetumi aba say yes oye ejuma e wo Bawumia office there. Na so nye Bawumia na ebo ne pa ebetumi aba ne sa. Ebetumi aba ne sa say nye Bawumia na ebo ne pa. What you say? Yes, it is a possibility. Say be nye Bawumia na ebo ne pa. But after some way nina bawie no, at the end of the day, the guy was still working with Bawumia. In some way nina ba bontin letter no ba bontin, letters ba bontin mo bi ehun say boni at esini. People were expecting Bawumia to take action. But the guy was still working, allegedly still working with Bawumia. It's an name man crofo say and the sadia papi jamonim hu bibi. And the fact that nani pakrono the koyo donation, Ramadan donation, Bawumia ne Ramadan donation there. Not just a papa ni hu bibi. Entiende? Sa asem no special prosecutor akwa kopeja ni biom. And na me ne oka say officially wa charges ankrofui. And then officially the omo akwa kopie mu e work. And you see say the day of reckoning will come. This is a perfect example of that saying. Say the day of reckoning. Aba. As to whether the reason why special prosecutor couldn't charge when a year NPP ewa abebu no one knows. But this is one of the reasons in Tia Ghana for a year na change of government. Abwa. And then yes, the special prosecutor is coming on because at the end of 2022, with evidence and everything, a special prosecutor debetuja. By it now, it has taken 3 years, at least 2, for the special prosecutor to now charge them officially. So this is the breaking news as special prosecutor wadiaba. Mamen Kenkan was say new 4 public officials charged with corruption over seized rice containers. It's in Grofono and Obo Mudin. Isa Seidu, James Kekosei winner, Oye Juma Ewo Bawumia Hono. Isa Seidu, James Kekosei, John Aban, and Peter Archibald Hyde have been formally charged with corruption after allegedly conspiring to hijack 10 containers of imported rice at Tema Port. The rice, imported from Thailand in 2022, was fraudulently claimed by Seidu using fake documents and a letter falsely issued from the office of the vice president. So you see what happened? Senior special prosecutor and there. Bawumia wa hono special prosecutor went to me and Yejumei. But once the special prosecutor is coming all out and has charged them. Now what charge now what they more na business and you see Ebia na won't here, but I want you to put yourself in the shoes of a businessman. Minim say mo bebre amutie me no mo bebre na at least there are some 1 or 2 businesses bi amoye. But you find say you businessman na wo kra we emo e ba Ghana. Wa wonim say omo kra mo ba Ghana no mo sa business mbe che say enye small business e big business man o Ghana ha. O hear say Ghana for ye pe emu dia obi kra mo aba Ghana big business. O kra mo 10 containers e tie for mo tie o. Wakra emo 10 containers aba bedu Ghana. Enkrofo bi a ewo Bawumia office akwa forging letter e de Bawumia din ato letter ne so e ka se sa emo 10 containers ya odi abeyi office of the vice president ye de ensa to so masa NPP for omobok masa you see the level of chrono and crofo we boy enu it goes beyond greed. If there's any word after greed, chrono and crofo we boy it goes beyond greed. Only one kwaka. Say NPP for ya ende wo mo ba be pagana for chow. Se wo mo pa chow. Na boni a wo mo aye yen fan chow mo yen san so ntu abomo mo no. These are some of the things they did to businessmen in this country. And you see under NPP nso no usuro koka. And this and the NDC abaya obi eye pived kakre bi pe na wa ba bontia ba be kase dabi and the NPP hwan udi agrokra ye the national security be ba be foul say wakwa kra wa emo now emo 10,000 bags masa emo 10,000 bags say emo no onya bag ba ko $10 krana obi anim say bag ba go nya $10 ba emo no nya bag ba ko $10 krana sa 10,000 bags no unim $100,000 no say emo no nya bag ba ko $10 impoa $100,000 no asiansa wo sanso betia freight duty and miscellaneous ejumayefo ne nyama transportation cars ni bibia now we be a day or no businessman ubehwem gra and this was around the time ubehwem gra na businessman no kra no he say be bosia e no dey business yi omo ya supply say dodo na ye bosia na wo no akwa na emu aba o say emu na odi aba no 10 containers 10 containers na odi aba no na tre say 1,000 bags bia go container ba kumu 10 containers na odi aba no ye de yensa to so woni hwan say wodi unsa beto me container so a o say o ye friend say o free office of the vice president into office of the vice president inti waji memo o say o de ko bebia o pa fa ko bebia o de beko obi ye bibia nsi ejiyemu no e de ko ye donation e ma Bawumia ye de command kremofo because Ramadan inti Bawumia e de ko ye donation e ma enkremofo ye se Bawumia nim ho hwe NPP for asema na omo ka omo se Bawumia nim ho hwe ade we siwie ya nsem ne baaye still 2024 na nipa kono gusu ya ejuma Bawumia office no so mo be ka tren se Bawumia nim ho hwe. And you see, that time, no, that's our story way. And Shadan ba bontin kesiye sa. But ye tremo nyama na nkrofo way eye. Osi Seidu, who works with the National Insurance Commission, and Osei, a former director at the Vice President's Secretariat, allegedly teamed up with 2 senior customs officials, Aban and Hyde, to override customs processes and secure the goods. Despite the rice being legally imported and duties paid, the group tried to auction the containers to Seidu. Me see, there's a level of wickedness. There's a level of wickedness. Unim, nipa boni phobia ye nipa boni ni. But nkrofobia wo hwa. Boni a wo mu di no. Omo de adwene nyansa to ho. Nti obi wo hwa ebia emo no pese owi ade. Obi wo hwa emo no pese owi a. Na so be hyeda hwe. Ohena se ebia wentumi entia duty a. No de afa wan ka se duty na wentia ne nti ye auction emo no ama obi. Atiase. Technically na adwene opese owi emo no, but at least we are now wo wi ano o make sure say emra eka ho. Nti dachi bi asemba obeka say we dey wentia duty na me ye den me call auction ye. You see, businessman ya okra emu iba Ghana no. wetua duty bibia wo se wotua bia wetua sika bia ya bo se wontua bia wetua a trese emo no de ye ne dia ono na wakra na emu aba wetua duty boni bia ni emu ne ho nanso yeso still nipa ya wo Bawumia office ene sa National Insurance Commission ni ene custom officers too eye kanana ena mo ka se nipa ko no wetua duty kra na emu no ye je ye de ko Bawumia ho ena still omo wia emu no in the name of auction omo de ma sa seidu no. I said their plot collapsed after internal investigations and a high court ruling exposed the scheme. Inti say businessman ono so o se onye kum. Asem ne baby o de be ko bi o de koye. Ti asem na at the end of the day e kokopie mu e wo high court. E kopie mu wo high court ni ehun say ye na businessman no na nyame ase. Se nkrofo yi omo ndu baby o meka say ebia nsem de se ne ekono na ko munye ni bibi because yeti krom ha yenimde esi onna nyame ase pa because say wudifo a yes ade we na at the end of the day asem ni kokopie mu wo court there na nke wudifo we enso omo ye ensin omo se na ko mbe ye omo aju se businessman na ko mbe kuno ti asem ni kopie wo court e na asem ni na ba be pie ye eni ehun se ne ye ka na ehun se emo no Kronon Samuel Kosuni. It was said therefore are due in court on Friday, 27 June 2025. So you see another angle of this whole thing, and say it has now we assembly documents will hold till assembly pay court. Not to say at least akwako pay wo court a yaswe affidavit ni nyama aswe oath ni nyama ne de. Not to say evidence. Nti betumi aka ho asem. Enye alleged bi evidence. Evidence akwa kopiem wo court. Evidence pie document pie trese enkrofui F4G letters and all that. Your omo identity story na see you know. And you see this thing happened in 2022. 2022. It had to take the special prosecutor 3 years. And then we're charging Crawford no court. Our mobile shares here 27 June next week. We're charging your court next week. What does it tell you? Sadie way, what does it tell you? It tells you, say, probably when the NPP were in power, someone or some people were suppressing this investigation. And then they won't say all of a sudden NPP throw free power, no special prosecutor no enya akukudro, and now going after NPP officials, going after Kenofoyata, now going after Omo no muye juma Bawumia na so ye. Nti NPP wa bemu na special prosecutor no. And you see the reason why not special prosecutor, no, personally one of the reasons that me feel say na nyama we onto me nyene say na wo ye kra na the judiciary emboano. That's why the special prosecutor came out and was crying. Say judiciary no and the court, but and there is anyone complain about the judiciary again? No. That's why the special prosecutor crying. Deep down in the heart of every single Ghanaian, no be him say and the NPP sankrofui no more say or minor, but no be so bekasa. These people who are today asking us to forgive them, these were the things they were doing to Ghanaians. Nkrofo enda wo mo pa ye chow yen fan chow mo no de no mo de ye Ghana foni. Stealing from Ghanaians. Blatantly. Do you know what? Here, Obi can story be and the NPP. Now, utumi huni say, one thing, right? Obi biara obeye BBC no. Ne say the first time. Not say and the NPP no. Eye adie bia ebe da ne norm. and the NPP, it became a norm. Hey, someone was telling me a story under NPP on my first term. Say we'll be crack car eba be drew Ghana. A car no a machine. Fe. Car ni be do Ghana we no. Or kwa clean the car. Nto atwa sa. Ye ma car no went to me uncle. Later ni betene no. Ni say car no. Pinyi bi wo e wo Jubilee House. Okwa kan ne sen. And the NPP metremo enkrofo a na ye de by force kokoje o nsase. Osio aban ebeso de asase we eye bibi na waba abeje. We ni betil no na NPP ni ene wo si bibi wa asase ne so. I told you obi na asase a ewo achimota. What to war e was asase ne ho or the $200,000 at war e was asase ne ho. One day wo wa NPP for aban abase wo aban say or the asase ne be ye den. Onim so ntumi ni aban enko. Chale ni beti no obi the asase ne ye private development. These people, the level of greed they exhibited in this country, it was evil, like it was pure evil. Omo wia Ghana for wia de omo wia yen, but omo wia Ghana for wie yen no. At the end of the day, who ye wa business? Just say any break at time. Because how can you explain such scenario where a special prosecutor and or the ababetoa? It's here for say who read this special prosecutor scenario where how does it make sense to any sensible person? How can you explain this scenario to any sensible person? How? Why would you mean explain this scenario to any sensible person? Does it make sense? No. If you can do this to Obia Wakra Emo Abagana, do you understand? Ye Jan Crawford. Bawumia was the vice president then. He was the vice president. And people were doing this in his name. Do you understand what would have happened if Bawumia eba bedane president? Do you understand what would have happened? What you and I say the young Crawford. Ye ni ana NPP niya or one way. Is it cantonment? NPP new or NPP ni cantonment or tinifia ya babe bubu edano. Adenya aben ni pebi passasin. Masa Crawford we wo. Senya no mu die ni bre ejeje Crawford sa sekra no. Unim na o papa ona na kanso bi aja wasase wo prime area bi. Ye beje from zememfa ye ho se o krata ye ni krata ye eje. Ye je ama ye see is it Ghana International School se de Obokra na pese ye kokoji omo asase. It took the school drivers and omo cars e kokko park say ye de ye cars be block him. The level of greed these people exhibited. Sadie way awo mo ye. It could mean anything. Ebetumi aba say because how is it different? Say ebia we taxi driver. Ebia obeka say we taxi driver and yen count. Ebetumi aba say taxi driver who chu car wo kromo legally or say me free Bawumia office fa car ne bra maje car no watina car nim no de call. Does it make sense? No, right? And that's exactly what these people did. I don't know whether you see last Obi has some obeka and say, oh, Melodies, you are too dramatic. Obi has some obeka terminal, say me too dramatic. But Ayana and say about I want people to understand it from my point of view. And it's not like I'm just trying to create drama, but I want you to understand it from my point of view. Do you understand what it means? Do you understand it? This level of greed can collapse any business and anything at all. A buying crop for betumi akwa boira private business say hey yaje ye ne wa aban mu ye freeway office yaje. Like, do you understand what we are saying? Supplier akra name o abano. Oh, the vice president letterhead. Aba be see a mo ne so GMO no. Hey. Not just say the own person. Hey, actually. Masa. Oh no, you are privileged to be working. You see, and I was say, all these people are able mudin e case ni mono. All these people are able mudin case ni mono. Omo ye nkrofo a omo ye gainfully employed. All these people who were mentioned, they were gainfully employed. Say do ya ye kan ho asemi. National Insurance Commission. Oye juma National Insurance Commission. Gainfully employed. Enye se bi oni ejuma ye. Sa James Kirk ya ye ken. Or your former or your director at Bawumia office or your director. So probably no ye be ono so ye be kind na ka ho as a Flagstaff house staff, Flagstaff house and whatever you call it. Ye be kind ono so aka ho. And two other people are women so customs officials. These people are gainfully employed. At the end of the month, you see, enye kra nti say payday. At the end of the month, omonsa komo ano, yiti omoka, omo GP. These people are gainfully employed. But look at what they were doing. Do you understand what they were doing? So they didn't want to pay a dime. Obimbre and go through the stress. Oh crack bibi to say mo cra ba. I'm sure say obetia events insurance ni nyama because e bia na say shape now dey ba na bia na shape na kwakoto insumo e obeden na tell omo ahyew. So you pay insurance. Ana bibia betumi ato emo no wo insurance so mebo a. Inti ni pakro insurance a wetua ni bibia wetua. All the stress, sleepless nights. Se bibia onto container no. Ade aba beduru o man ni mu. Na eba beduru ya de wo ye ni. De mode ye ni pakro ni. Charlie, this level of wickedness, I don't know. Let's read comments and see what in Tiamono. You read the comment near here. Ghana for Eka. Obisi, hey, rising soon. Just say a lot of people are shocked. I see, was it the so-called salary rise? Ghana for, I see, the system can work. Be unwavering in your mission. Obisi matter come. I see, so in that regime, every day there was one scandal or the other. So you see, a lot of people are now even getting to understand the whole thing. Say, inti and the NPP, the course ni. Hey, inti obi yusu Bawumia edin. Hey. So you see, a lot of people didn't even know Sena story be say koso because the system suppressed it. Ati say, Obisi, we told you, Bawumia and his office staffs forged documents to steal 10,000 bags of lily rice at Tema Ports. I say, what about Bawumia, who allegedly asked his aide to donate those rice to his Muslim brothers and sisters during the fasting period? You see, media, they can say, whatever modus operandi and crofo use, you know, everything clearly shows that it wasn't the first time they did something like that. Probably, omukruwa ma intia ena sa ambre no ya che womo. So you see, you be proper investigations, yenye proper investigations that, and when you are you be who say Bawumia Emra no your vice president no. Ne office no. A ding senior whatena say share ye a man crofo you sa office. And you see, and that's one thing about there is a book I'm currently reading. Okay. Now I wish every single human being to read that book. Okay. Now, the title of the book, No More Mr. Nice Guy. That is the book I'm currently reading. The title of the book, No More Mr. Nice Guy. And Nipakra was through book, no? Your friend Glover. A book ye throw ye Emma and Mema. The American what you say, ye throw sa book no man Mema because as Obama biano, ye say you be a or ye fearless. I was say ye firm. At ya say. Inti Obama be a wopese wo ye firm. Unya kukudru. Wo ye fearless utumi ka wadwen. Emfa ho say wadwen na wo ka no nipa eni beji you nipa eninji you. Obama be a wopese wo ye sa de no mesre grab that book and read. No More Mr. Nice Guy by Glover. Read that book. And you understand why someone like Bawumia, he is not fit to be the president of this country. You see, one thing of a leader, and they say, you have to be firm, and you have to call people out, and you have to take action if people do something wrong. A day, o company din ebeba form. Okay, Bawumia, I can tell you, say, send your Bawumia will move in this same way you buy, you know. I can tell you about me, ebia me. But me who Bawumia say was akukudru. Bawumia is those guys. I say, oh yeah, we want to be nice guys. We want to always be in the nice. We want to be in, and I mean, at a point in time, we've all been those types of people. I say, people pleaser. Let us please people. I'm not going to lie. At a point, we've all been that type. We've all at a point in our lives, you know. Yeah, so yenya de ebe man krofo akanya mapafa ye ho. Ebia na ade na nipa no ade na ye no. Ebia na ye pra ye mpe. Na so esan se ebia ebe man krofo akanya mapafa ye ho nti de na hwe yenyi ni enye. At a point in time we've all been those type of people. And I'm not going to lie. Every single man at a point in time, no. And you see, it's because of Ghana, senya, yensu ye nature, net senya, ye raising ye up, nyamano. At a point in time, every single Ghanaian man has been that type of person. Menya adia ebema me mami ni aje, adia no mempe, nanso me mami ese opedia, menya de ebema me mami ni aje, odi enehwe, menya de ebema me mbe ni aje, menya de, ati ase. But sa book no betrel, say, ewiase mo edu baby a, you need to call things out for what it is. You need to be honest. Sometimes you take decision just because usro de nipa beka. There are a lot of people like ene omo potential, omo tumi ndru omo potential anyankopon just say de anyankopon ashama omo wo wiase mo se wo mo mbra mbedru no. There are a lot of people omo tumi ndru ho onim de ntia just because omunya sa akukudu omu ase ade we mekoya ede na nipa beka odwen de nipa beka ho obi wo ho a ebia ne de ne se e wo se oba be create content online but the odwen no se me goja se me create content ade na me classmates beka me goja se me yewe ya ade na me nkrofo we beka. What you say? There are a lot of people sa ade no it is preventing them from reaching their potential. If you read sa book you are making ya, it's going to show you how to come out of that thing. Into one year in nipa beka ho. The wo pese wo ya ebema wa brabo akọ enim no. Ene na wo beye. Into sa ankrofo no from nice guys. Into na book no title here No More Mr. Nice Guy because ono no pese obi aka say oh we dey we nice oh ati say pese a people pleaser or pese ma ankrofo enije at no any expense. Dear friend of Mr. Nice Guy. And for me, Bawumia is a perfect example of Mr. Nice Guy. He's a perfect example. That's why Embra doing the campaign, no, or call baby crana, ye man is tia crana, ne ninja hunso na wasob no de sre, no de sa, ye ko baby a, mamistia no Bawumia, mamistia no na, or de san. San yamani ne ya debia na Bawumia wompe. But he doesn't want to do something Rebecca so wa mo bi buefu and ya waye, and so he was trying to be a nice guy. And the fact that this happened under him, a serious, you know, still allegedly na nipa no gusu ye juma e wo Bawumia office no. It should tell you. It should tell you everything you need to know. If you want to try your comment box ni mo. But that's it.